Hello friends, this is Selvijay here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good. And today the topic I am going to discuss about how we can configure RIP routing protocol through GUI. Okay. So prior to the configuration, first need to configure the management port of firewall 1 and 2 for accessing the GUI of firewall 1 and 2. Because in this architecture, I am going to show you how we can configure the RIP routing protocol through GUI. So as per the architecture, each and every firewall I connected to three ports. Port 1 I have connected to the WAN port, so the one end IP is 192.168.1.1. The other end is 192.168.1.2, and the LAN of each firewall is port 2. So the port is connected to PC1. The IP is 192.168.10.2 and the gateway is 10.1. Similarly for PC2, the IP is 20.2 and the gateway will be 20.1. And port 3 I have connected to 84.52 and 84.53. This is the GNS3 VM cloud. So this is mainly for accessing the web GUI of this firewall 1 and firewall 2. Okay. So prior to the configuration, before accessing web GUI, first we need to configure the port 3 of firewall 1 and 2, and we have to enable HTTP and HTTPS for accessing the GUI, right? So first let us finish up the configuration. Then we have to configure the directly connected LAN and the WAN interfaces. Okay. Then the third thing, I will be configuring the policies. This is mainly for communication from LAN to WAN and WAN to LAN. So in case of FortiGate firewall, I have to allow both this communication, bidirectional communication. And third thing, I will be configuring the RIP routing protocol. Okay, that is a routing information protocol. This is mainly for communication between the two different subnets. Because in this architecture, PC1 and PC2 are in entirely different subnet. For this communication purpose, we need to enable the policies and also the routing information protocol we have to enable. Okay, so these are the steps I'm going to do. So first let us log into the console of firewall 1 and 2 and let us quickly configure the management port. Okay, so let us go to firewall 1. Let us view the configuration. Show system interface port 3. Okay, so this was viewing the configuration. As of now, we are not configuring an IP. Okay, so let us quickly configure the IP. So config system interface and edit port 3. IP is 192.168.84.52 followed by the net mask. Okay, subnet mask. Then save the configuration. Then view the configuration. So this is 84.52. Similar way, I need to go to firewall 2. I need to configure as 84.53 as per the architecture. Let us configure. Okay. So login. So config system interface, edit port 3, set IP. Okay, set IP is 192.168.84.53, 255.255.255.0. Just end the save the configuration. Now let us view the configuration. So system interface port 3. Okay, so this 84.52 and 84.53 is allowed, and also the protocol we allowed the HTTP and HTTPS mainly for accessing this web GUI of firewall 1 and 2. So now let us open the Chrome browser and let us now access the firewall 1. Okay, so 192.168.84.52 for the first firewall, and it will prompt for the username and the password. Okay, then we'll configure the second firewall. So let's check it out. So the first firewall, let us log in with the credentials. Okay, admin and with the password. Now let us go to the interfaces. So we have configured already the GUI port of firewall 1 and 2. Now let us configure the directly connected WAN and the LAN interface for both firewall 1 and 2. Okay, then we'll configure the policies and the routing information protocol. So let us go here, go to network, click interfaces. Okay, and go to port 1. Port 1 is the WAN interface. Already we configured the this port 3. Port 3 is for accessing the web GUI, that is 84.52. Now let us configure the WAN interface. Go to port 1, define the role as LAN. Okay, alias name let us set it as LAN, and now we have to set the IP. So as per the architecture, the IP is, so the alias is WAN, right? Port 1 is for WAN. Okay, and the IP is as per the architecture 192.168.1.1, that is the IP. Okay, so we'll set the manual IP as 192.168.1.1/255.255.255.0, and already the ping communication is enabled. Just click OK. Similar way, let us configure the LAN interface. So the LAN interface is 10.1. Okay. So go here and the port is port 2. That is for LAN. Just click here and define the role as LAN, alias name is LAN, and set the IP as 192.168.10.1 slash 255.55.55.0 and ping is already enabled. Okay, so now we enable port 1 and port 2. Similar configuration we will finish off in the second firewall also. Okay, so the port 1 is WAN port 192.168.1.1 and port 2 is a LAN port 192.168.10.1. Okay, similarly let us go to the second firewall and log in with the credentials and go to the network and the interfaces. Okay, so go to click network, click interfaces, and let us configure the port 1. Port 1 is a WAN port, port 2 is a LAN port. Okay, so just click port 1. Okay, so define the role as WAN, alias let us set it as WAN, and the IP is manual. Okay, so 192.168.1.2 slash 255.255.255.0. Now just click OK. Already the ping is enabled. Click OK. Second configuration is a LAN configuration is 20.1. So the IP is 20.1. Okay, just go to port 2 and define the role as LAN, then define the IP. So 192.168.20.1 slash 255.255.255.0. Just click OK. So we have done with the LAN and the WAN of firewall 1 and 2. So now let us quickly ping the directly connected LAN and WAN interface. Okay. So let us go to the firewall 1. Show system interface port 1. This is my WAN port. Just ping, execute ping 192.168.1.1. I am able to reach. Second port is LAN port. Okay, ping that also. The command is execute. In a Cisco we'll do ping. So here it is execute ping 192.168.10.1. So I am able to ping. Okay, so now we will go to firewall 2 and let us see. Port 1 is a WAN port. Execute ping 192.168.1.2 and also the LAN port, that is port 2, that is 20.1. So I'm able to ping the LAN and WAN port of firewall 1 and 2. So now let us go ahead and configure the policies and the routing information protocol. So first let us quickly configure the routing information protocol, right? So let us go here, go to the RIP, routing information protocol, go to network interfaces and click RIP. Okay, just configure from firewall 1 now. Go to RIP information protocol. So there are two networks we need to advertise. One is 192.168.1. series, that's a directly connected network, and another interface is 10.1. So these two networks I need to advertise via RIP. Okay, so now 192.168.1.0 slash 255.255.255.0 and version is 2. Already default 2 is already enabled version, so not necessary to worry. Second thing is 192.168.10.0 slash 255.255.255.0. Just click apply. So we have successfully saved the RIP configuration. So now let us go to FortiGate firewall 2, that is second firewall, and enable the 192.168.1 series and 20. network. These two network I need to enable. Okay, so 192.168.1.0 slash 255.255.255.0 and the second network is 192.168.20.0 slash 255.255.255.0. Okay, so these two networks I enabled, I added. The version is by default version is RIP version 2. Just apply the configuration. So now what I'm going to do, now let us configure this individual PC and let us check this gateway. So till where I'm going able to reach. Okay, so go to PC1, go to putty configuration. Let us configure IP 192.168.10.2 slash 24. Gateway is 192.168.10.1. So now let us configure the second PC2. Go to console. Okay, so go here, just go to console, click OK. So the second thing, okay. So the second thing, let us configure IP 192.168.168.20.2/24. Gateway is 192.168.20.1. That is my gateway. So now let us ping the directly connected gateway. Okay. So ping 192.168.10.1 I am able to reach. How about 1.1, 1.2 and this particular remote network? So let us ping the remote network, that is 20.2. So I'm not able to reach. And how about the 1.2? So the 1.2 also I'm not able to reach. That means we need to enable the policies. Although we have configured the routing information protocol and we advertise the networks, still in case of FortiGate firewall, we need to allow the policies for the LAN to WAN and WAN to LAN communication. So let us quickly configure the policy. Then we'll check the communication between PC1 and PC2. Okay. So go to firewall 1 and let us enable the policy. So go to policy and objects, click IPv4 policy. Okay. Just click create new. So by default an implicit deny policy will be there that will not allow the networks to communicate. So just add a rule like name 1, incoming interface from WAN port to LAN port, and the source let us make it as all, and destination let us default we'll give it as all, and schedule is always, and service we can give the specific service or I can click all and just click OK. And then the second policy I'm going to allow from LAN to WAN. Okay, so this similar type of configuration I need to replicate in firewall 2 also. So just click create new, rule name is 2, and now LAN to WAN port. So first one is WAN to LAN, right? So LAN to WAN port, source let us make it as all, destination is all, service is all. So service can give ICMP or any specific service or I can give all, right? And just click OK. And now let us switch to the second firewall. Okay, so now let us view this firewall policy, that is WAN to LAN and LAN to WAN. So how we can view from the command line is just go to admin port, okay, show firewall policy. So this will show the current policy what you have done. Okay, so this is the policy we have created. From source address is port 1 to port, LAN to WAN, all source address, and the schedule is always and service is all. Okay, action is accept. So this is how we can view the firewall policy. So now let us go to the second firewall and let us add the policies over here. Just go to policy and objects, IPv4 policy, and create a policy. Go to create new, make the rule as 1, just WAN port, from WAN port to LAN port, and source is all, destination let us give it as all, and service is all I'm giving. Just click OK. And now add the second rule for LAN to WAN communication. Then let us do the ping between the PC1 and PC2. So just 2 is LAN to WAN, and the source address is all, and service is all. Okay, so just click OK. So now you have successfully enabled the policies, enabled the routing protocol, and also we have configured all the directly connected interfaces. Now the task is to check the connectivity between ping communication between the PC1 and PC2 and from PC2 to PC1. Okay, so let us go to PC1 and let us ping the remote PC, that is 20.2 I'm able to reach, 20.1 is a gateway I'm able to reach, and what about PC2? So PC2 also let us ping 10.2. Okay, so ping 192.168.10.2 I am able to reach, 10.1 I am able to reach. Okay, and how to check the particular routing information protocol, right? So go to the particular configuration, the command is get router info. Okay, get router info rip database. This is a way we can check. It is showing the networks, right? 1 dot network and 10 dot network, and it is also showing the remote network, and the next hop is 1.2. Okay, and how to check the rip data interfaces? Just click interface port 1. So it will show the protocol is enabled or not. Port 1 and port 2 we enable the rip protocol, and this is the routes or the database we can see. Similarly, let us go to the second firewall, admin port, and the command is get router info RIP database. The second command we can check is interface. So this is a way we can configure the routing information protocol. And also, so the basic things you have to keep it in mind is, first we have to configure the interfaces, and then we have to configure the policies and the routing information protocol. So in case of Cisco, we'll configure only the interfaces and the routing information protocol. But in case of FortiGate firewall, right, for allowing the communication from this particular end to this end, we need to enable the policies and the RIP information protocol. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Thanks and have a wonderful day. Thank you.